edition of the Sports War. And we are back. We got the full crew in the house. That is what it's all about. The Yankees, out of any team in the league, are the best equipped to handle a blow like this.
I think there is a higher power at play here. He's due law of averages. That dude is the ultimate scrub. It's trash. Yeah. Every person you have in there is fucking trash.
Next game, you're going to see a big performance. You can see it in the end of the game, and I'm just totally stoked and excited for this.
And we are back. Welcome to another edition of the Sports War. And once again, here on a Tuesday, Barnes and Tony show. Let's go Yankees.
Let's go Mets.
What's going on, brother?
Not much, man. Happy to be back here, back from the island, back from a little, family, go see your family sort of Sunday. Enjoyed some baseball, some football, so much to recap, dude. Nice Columbus Day off, really, kind of as well. So yeah, dude, excited to be here for sure.
Yeah, it's crazy that one extra day feels like a week.
It does. It absolutely does, dude. Especially like with the weekend, Tad. I feel we haven't done the show in forever, dude.
Yeah, exactly. So much to get to. Obviously, the football over the weekend, the baseball, and let me just say a little bit of hockey. But let me just say, nothing like being at the stadium last night. What a night, and it was crazy too. I think because so from a Saturday to Monday, so an extra 2. So 9 days after going to game one of the ALDS, go to game one of the ALCS. And I want to say the temperature difference, with the wind chill, we're talking 15 degrees. I mean, definitely a little nippy last night. Was layered up though. So, I've definitely had worse. And when me and Mark were there in 2017 against the Astros, a lot colder. So definitely could have been worse. But the vibe was unbelievable. We'll get to the game summary, but I think just like game one, we set the tone, having Andy Pettit throw out the first pitch. This time we go with CC.
Love that.
He was riled up. And two, you know what I appreciate? It felt very genuine with C. It feels like, ever since he left the Yankees, he's remained a big part of the organization and is just like, a fan basically at this point. And they showed him on the big screen, like he stayed and, watched and had seats right up front. Sometimes people
awesome.
Draw the first pitch, then they just go. Like came there. Oh, here's my moment. Hey, like, what's up? But no, C was dialed in, watching every pitch. So let's go.
Yeah, he's dope, dude. He does seem, obviously with his story and everything, he does certainly seem like humbled, just to be here even, and like to be in good health and whatnot. So, you got to like that, dude. And I had a chance to meet him at MLB Network. Came into the edit room, like way bigger of a person than I thought. Like just even his height wise, huge guy, dude. But super nice, very respectful, like down to earth. So it was cool to see him throw out that first pitch. Oh no, what do you got, dude? You freaking out?
Oh no, just I was understanding comments, but Michael Bucket seems like he's off his rocker. But let's just get these comments out of the way. I know there's some fraud Mets fan in there as well. I know Jay's trying to get me tight, but let me just tell you, Jay.
Dude. I don't think he's trying to get you tight.
I think so, but I'm just saying. We know, buddy. Floor is yours, Tony. What do we got?
Okay. We got a bunch of comments here. Let's start early and often. Matthew Ryan says, Jets are horrible. No team, no better than last year. Why is this QB and team having same numbers as Zach Wilson? It's because of the culture Zach Wilson has put on this team while he was here, the losing culture.
And not to jump in right away, which I am doing. Yes. So it's kind of like, no offense, but who the fuck cares, Matthew Ryan? Like, let's go Yankees. Like the Jets, as Josh B would say, are going to jet. So they jet no more.
Yes.
So whatever. Let's fucking go Yankees.
And also, I think even you could agree, Brian, at this point, like it's not a Zach Wilson culture. It's obviously way beyond that. Like,
yeah. And it's like, but let them go figure it out. It's not our problem. No, but in all seriousness, though, you know what I mean? Like, as fans, we've supported the team, showed up, been to games, rooted for him. And they keep failing us. Like, I'm just saying, like, that's on them. So they can figure it out. It's like, what? Are you fucking kidding? Like,
wow,
they're lucky that they still have fans.
Are you taking this approach more so because it's still like baseball season, or even if football was the only thing on, you'd still be like go fuck off, basically?
Yeah, it's the same thing. I mean, obviously, it's even more of a less importance because of baseball, but at the same time, You mean you're really gonna get worked up? Like, Woody, like, what are you doing, bud?
Yeah, no, it's tough, dude. Then Josh B in the house, speaking of getting worked up, says LFG Yankees.
Let's fucking go, Josh. Let's go.
Credit where credit's due, says you guys are creating a nice lead in the picks. Dude. A lot of season left, though. Hashtag TC, hashtag Sports Project DTV. We'll see. Matthew Ryan says Yankees dominated.
Let's
Josh
go. There you are.
B says sort of the Mets.
Josh, you don't need to do that, bud. Come on. Come on.
Jay Bird, Mets dominated as well, to reiterate, dude.
Himself.
I don't know, man. That's kind of harsh, dude. I wouldn't say it's fraudulent, dude. I think it's
I know Jay. I'm sorry. He's not a serious fan. Like, he can say whatever he wants. He's not a serious
he's
fan.
just not serious in general.
Right. So I'm saying, and then to try to jump on, no.
And then Tommy Donovan says, what up, family, dude?
Let's go, brother. Let's go, Yanks.
And then Matthew Ryan says, at Josh B, who gives a shit about the frauds, meaning the Mets, which is ridiculous. And then Jay Bird says, same old Jets. He's tight. He's a day one Jet fan for sure. Tommy Donovan.
See, that's the difference there, Jay. Okay, that's fine. Jets, say what he wants. We know he's been a fan, but don't just hop onto the Mets. Like, no. I'm sorry. It doesn't work like that. He has to pay his penance, and he hasn't.
If he were to
go to game 3. Go ahead. I want to hear the go then. If you're really like that dialed in, you need to be there. Oh my God. Okay.
If he was doing the same with the Yankees, would you have the same take?
I would still know that it's like you still got to earn your stripes, bud. Like I said, go to the game. Where were you? I didn't see you at the stadium.
So if he was like, if let's say the Yankees like blew game 1 and he was like, oh, dude, the fucking Yankees sucked. Is that? Rodon, what the fuck, dude? But did you be like, hey, man, you can't even say that?
I'm saying I just want to see him put in the work. Don't talk about your home run prop bets. Like, it's like actually be a fan, live and die with the team, Jay. Come on.
Give living and dying here.
Come on.
Rodon, killer start, says Tommy Donovan, and playoff Stanton is the goddamn truth.
I mean, great points there. Especially Rodon bouncing back after having that hot start game 2 against Kansas City, then getting torched. But for this one to hone in and really just dominate and set the tone, and then Stanton, are you kidding?
And then Matthew Ryan still tight. Zach Wilson, whatever. Michael Buckner says, Brian, you must be in negative debt as opposed to positive debt going all these Yankee playoffs games. LMFAO.
See, like, I don't know, Michael. You know what I mean? Like, you say I'm your favorite, I'm the man. It just and listen, like, that's not true. But also, I mean, am I wrong to say here, Tony, that it's like, to me though, like, as a leading comment, it comes off negative.
I don't know.
Fucking go Yankees, Michael. How about that?
No, yeah, I get that. But I mean, I think he's just joking around, though, right?
But I want more positivity, more positive vibes, more good energy. Okay.
Speaking of good energy, Matthew Ryan says, let's go Yankees. My mother in the house says, hi, fellas. Did I miss the weekend food talk?
You know, there was an off camera. I asked Tony, his favorite thing of the weekend.
It was a macaroni.
Yeah.
The Sunday dinner,
but
dude.
It sounded mouth-watering, as it always is.
Oh, my God. Yes, dude. And then let's see. My mother also says the Mets are awesome. Yes, she witnessed that a lot firsthand this weekend. Lonnie in the house says, good morning, gentlemen. Let's go Yankees.
Let's go
the Jets literally gone jet. Shaking my head. I honestly believe the Jets are cursed. They got Aaron out here throwing picks in damn near every game. The land of fandom death, he says. Hashtag the company. And then Matthew Ryan speaking nonsense here. There we go. Michael Theophil coming in here with some logic. Goats, he says. Matthew Ryan is a bozo when it comes to sports takes. Legit has no brain when it comes to sports takes. Just haven't had a QB in his entire franchise existence. And he says, let's go Yankees.
Let's go, Michael. Let's go.
Josh B says, yes, bash, brother. And then Lonnie says, wait, Jay is a Mets fan. Wasn't he wearing a Yankees jersey earlier this year, too?
I think he's probably talking about maybe last year when he went to the game.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, must have been.
But nevertheless, there was a jersey on.
And then Jay Bird says, must be nice to get 2 playoff baseball games, Mr. Barnes.
I mean, I'm just saying, I think, a true fan, you can't put a price on that, and you make it happen.
No, yeah, true. Not wrong. And then Matthew Ryan still spewing more nonsense. Absolutely ridiculous. 9-0. That doesn't really matter. That was game one. Totally different take now. Then Choker in the house though with a let's go Yankees. I'm
Great
assuming.
to have Chogri with us. He's fired up for the Yanks. And not that, like we're just saying, not that there's too much importance in it, but Sunday night, our teams will be scoring off. Steelers, Jets. And my prediction right now is going to be 24-0 Steelers. Rodgers ACL second quarter.
I mean, it does seem like that, dude. I mean, how did TJ Watt not just absolutely destroy him, right? Like every play.
You would think.
Choker's got to feel pretty good, I would imagine.
Yeah. I think it's just, offensively, that's just is there going to be enough there? He knows the defense is nasty. It just feels with the consistency with the passing. But
Najee Harris with the running up the middle.
Yeah, Jets I think it's just a vertical. But there's no. Listen, just being real, I just don't see how the Jets could win that game, honestly.
Do you think their season's over now at this point? I know it's
you asked the question. No, I know. You know what I mean? It's just one of those things where it's like, technically, of course it's not over, Tony.
Right.
But I think just like mentally, it feels over.
What do you think? Like, I mean, you think Rodgers is back next? If they don't make the playoffs,
nah. Well, I'm sure it'll be tight, like going out that way. But I feel like he's gonna be like, I went through this tough training camp, had to deal with Salah.
Oh, you think he's not gonna want to come back?
Kind of, yeah.
Any chance you think that he wants to come back, but then Woody's just like, hey, this is not working?
No. I don't think so.
That's so fucking wild, dude.
I know. But
do you think they end up making the playoffs at all?
No. I think they're gonna go 8-9 or 9-8, miss out.
You think Rodgers plays like the rest of the season though, like healthy?
I just think it's too, maybe like for instance, let's say by like some miracle they beat the Steelers, and then it's like the next game there's some big injury or something, right. Something like that.
Garrett Wilson requests a trade?
No.
Oh, dude.
We're spending too much time on him though. It's like,
oh my goodness. Jay Bird though with some light, he says, bro, Devontae in talks to get traded to the Jets.
He's saying breaking news, but like, is that actually?
It says in talks. So
it says the Raiders are completing a trade to send Adams to the Jets.
Get the fuck out of here, really?
To report, Josh B just sent it.
Whoa, dude! Let's fucking go, dude.
Yeah, we don't know any particulars, but per Bleacher Report here, Raiders are completing a trade to send Devontae Adams to the New York Jets. So maybe not season over.
I mean, does that change everything? Turn the tables.
Per Ian Rappaport, it is a conditional third rounder going to the Raiders that can become a second rounder based on performance. So that Justin, it still feels like it's too late at 2-4 with a tough matchup against the Steelers. No, Sunday night.
Yeah, I mean it is still tough, and I mean not for nothing too, Brian. I mean you were pretty, I guess, trepidatious with Adams on the roster.
It could be more
too many
chaos.
Mouths to feed,
but Mike
sort of
Williams,
deal.
Like slipping on his ass last night.
Yeah.
What did Shoker say about the game? He said it'd be a close one.
It will be a good game since our O-line is on the IR, he says.
Yeah, it just, you think like late game execution though. That's
wow,
just kind of my feeling. And then it's always tough to play in Pittsburgh.
Always,
fall time, night game, the weather.
Kind of wild, dude. Everyone's like pretty hyped though. Matthew Gabriel, let's go, dude. And he says, Josh B, check your phone. Matthew Ryan, Devontae Adams to the Jets, dude. Matthew Ryan, hype for Devontae. Knew that was gonna happen, dude. So it's pretty solid.
Yeah. So be interesting to see how that plays out for sure, Tony. But let's go now to the world of Major League Baseball.
What a play! Stop it! Yep. And Alonso cracks one of the Mets win the ball game. Out of sight.
And it works at 100 miles an hour. 14 strikeout.
Drove deep to left field. There it goes. See ya.
All right. So the Yankees starting the ALCS on the right foot here. A 5-2 victory at the stadium last night.
Yankees win.
What a night. And not only, was the tone set by Carlos Rodon and Giancarlo Stanton and Juan Soto, but I think before the game, for all of us going, Mario setting the table, Tony, Arthur Ave, the bread, the house cab.
Let's go, dude.
We all got there at different times because we were coming from different places. I got there first by myself.
You had 3 bread baskets.
No, but I had some bread. But then I sent that picture of the espresso martini. That was so good. So shout out Mario's, definitely the original OG. I mean, really, there's a couple of them like Enzo's, that can go toe to toe with anyone. But I have to say, I think because of the bread is what really does it. Because the food is always amazing. But the bread is just so ridiculous. That kind of like puts it over the top for me. So yeah, that was great. And then we did our traditional appetizer, the rollatini, the Gallimar, Tony.
Oh my God.
So right up your alley. Get the
Gallimar.
Get the lemon on top there. Bread baskets, dude. Get the wine going. And then last time, for whatever reason, the waiter, when I was there, like for game 1 of the ALDS, kind of had like a panic attack when I said, can I get chicken parm, vodka sauce and bold? And like, we can only do it on the pasta on the side, not the chicken, even though I've done it there before, which was just ridiculous.
New guy, maybe?
Could have been. But I was,
Mets fan.
What? Probably. But so in an effort to avoid that, I just go, all right, I'll just take penny vodka, breaded chicken. Amazing.
So you had breaded chicken,
cut up
just
in it.
Chicken cutlet. Yeah,
with
okay.
penny vodka. I mean, come on now.
That's so good.
Yeah. So that was fire. And then, we did the outfield line when we got to the stadium, did the Uber over. So yeah, got in like right before player introductions, had good seats. And it was actually nice. So top row of 205. So no one behind us. You could stand up whenever you want. Wasn't a big deal to go out. I think we were like 3 seats in where we started. So it's not like you have to climb over all these people to get up if you want to get up.
Hell yeah, dude.
Yeah.
But you didn't get up.
I think, what I always do? I always go to the bathroom during the 7th inning stretch because it's just like, it's the longest break time. So it's like, okay, get up then. And then it's like one of those things you got to like know the ins and outs of the stadium.
Oh yeah, dude.
And I always notice other people do that. So I'm just following them. I'm not saying technically, Tony, is it the right, just thing to do? But a couple people always wait by the exit of the bathroom. So you just go in that way and then you save about 20 minutes. So let's go Yanks. So yeah, the energy was unbelievable. The player introductions, really, really enjoyed that. And then from first pitch, Carlos Rodon really brought it. And I would say it was not only his most important start as a Yankee, but his best start as a Yankee. And if you look at it, I mean, first batter, Tony, Stephen Kwan, a 9-pitch result at bat that ends up with a flyout. He lets up a single to David Fry, but he gets Jose Ramirez to fly out. Now you're a little concerned because there was a pass ball. So Fry moved to second, but then he gets Lane Thomas to strikeout swinging to end the first inning. We go on to the bottom of the first, and I think this has happened in game 1 as well. So it was a little disappointing, but you worked through it because Glaber, first pitch swinging ready, Alex Cobb. Speaking of Alex Cobb, Soto, next batter, great numbers off of him. He singles the center. So first and second, nobody out. Judge gets squeezed on a couple ball and strike calls. So he strikes out looking. Wells grounds out, and then Stanton flies out to left, just misses one. So nothing across in the first inning. Second inning, Rodon back to work. Josh Naylor strikeout, lets up a single to Noel, but then gets a Naylor flyout, Jimenez strikeout. So going to the bottom of the second, scoreless here. Remains scoreless after a Jazz strikeout. Volpe grounds out, but Rizzo first came back, single to center. Verdugo single, so first and third. But unfortunately, Glaber first pitch swinging ground out. So scoreless after 2. Rodon 1, 2, 3 in the third. Rocchio strikes out. Kwan flies out, and Fry strikes out. So a lot of strikeouts last night. For Carlos Rodon. And then the tone was set right away. Juan Soto, first batter of the third, a homer to center, 401 feet. Everyone was going nuts. So Soto's first career Yankee postseason home run. Aaron Judge works a walk. Austin Wells strikes out. Stanton walks. Jazz flies out. And then Volpe walks. So you got bases loaded. And then the Yankees end up scoring on 2 wild pitches. So Cantanillo with a wild pitch that scores Judge and then scores Rizzo before Verdugo strikes out. So you get 3 runs that inning, 3-0 lead. That would be enough for the rest of the game. Rodon dialed in the 4th, 1-2-3 with 2 strikeouts to Thomas and Naylor. 4th inning, Yankees on offense. They walk again. Gleyber walks, Soto walks, and then Judge. And Gleyber moves up on wild pitches. And then so Judge hits him in, sac fly. Wells and Stanton, nothing. So after 4-0 Yankees, Rodon comes out for the 5th inning, 1-2-3 again, 2 strikeouts, Noel and Jimenez with a bone nailer grounded in between. Bottom 5th, Yankees go down in order, 1-2-3. Top 6, Rodon, leadoff batter, Brian Rocchio, a bomb to left. So 4-1, you're like, okay, like, let's be careful here. Let's hope, this isn't Rodon, like where he loses it. But he gets a Quan ground out, fly out, and a Ramirez line out to center. And that ball hung up there a little bit. So being there in right field, the angles are a little different. You weren't sure, was that going to be in the gap? Was that going to do damage? It doesn't. So we go on to the bottom of the 6th. Yankees go down in order there. 7th inning, Clay Holmes in. So that's been kind of his time of the game. 5th, 6th, 7th inning, whenever needed. And he gets the job done. So still is not allowed to run in his postseason career. Lane Thomas ground out, Josh Naylor line out, and a Manzardo strikeout swinging. So on to the bottom of the 7th inning. And Judge lines out, Wells strikes out swinging, but Giancarlo Stanton, 439 feet to left center. And it was one of those things being in the stadium. Right off the bat, you just knew that sound is like no other sound. And even on a cold night, the wind blowing, no doubter. So that made it 5-1. Tim Hill comes in for the 8th inning. They got some lefties do up. Guardians go to some pitch hitters. You kind of understood it with the lefties coming up. 4-run lead, not 3. But just like game 1 when Hill came in, bad luck, whatever you want to call it, gets a little dicey. So he gets Hedges to fly out, but then gives up a single to Jimenez. And then Rocchio reaches on an infield single to second. And there was interference when he was going back to the bag, Hill covering. So it made runners on second and third, 1 out. You're a little stressed out. Stephen Kwan comes up, drives in a run with a single. So you got Rocchio on third, but Luke Weaver comes in the game, strikes out pinch hitter Will Brennan, and gets Jose Ramirez to ground out. So a big spot for Luke Weaver. Once again, delivering, has been flawless as the Yankee closer. 8th inning,
that,
Yankees don't get anything across. You're just a Verdugo walk. So we go to the 9th. Leadoff walks. So you're up. But then, what do you know? Luke Weaver, 1, 2, and 3, striking out Naylor, Schmemann, and Hedges to finish this one off. So 5-2, Yankees win. So just a great win. Again, the Yankees using their good batting eye to their advantage. I believe there was 7 walks. Of course, you scored 2 runs on those 2 wild pitches, but then you also scored 2 runs on 2 big home runs by Soto and Stanton. And I think one thing, that gives us all, a lot of optimism here is Judge still hasn't got going. Obviously had the sac fly, got squeezed on that strikeout there in the first. So it just feels like, Soto, Torres, and Stanton, they've been going. So you throw Judge in that mix, and it's going to be a tough match for opponents. And then the fact, too, Carlos Rodon, unbelievable him stepping up and putting in this start, because even though you expected the Yankees to win, it wouldn't have been that surprise because of last start if he had ran into trouble somewhere, but he doesn't. And the Yankees ultimately prevail.
Yeah, dude. And I mean, I think, again, I feel like it's another time too where like your bullpen is just coming in and it is
lights
dominant.
out.
It really is lights out. And again, continuing to be surprised from Clay Holmes. Luke Weaver keeps just like showing up, dude. He keeps delivering, which is exactly what you want to see. And like you said, I mean, again, you would imagine at some point Judge does come around and like starts to heat up in the playoffs here. And I mean, at that point, I mean, it's like,
what do you do? It's
exactly. I mean, if they're still scoring 5 runs with their best hitter hitting, so it's like kind of crazy, dude.
And then it's funny, Luke Weaver, always animated. They were interviewing him after the game. They're like, you've had a lot of longer outings here. Like, you're a little tired. He's like, you really think you're gonna get me to say that I'm tired?
Yeah,
right now?
Dude, he's got the eyes, dude, the bug eyes, dude. When he's like looking down, it's like, oh my God, it's crazy.
No, I love it because we've talked about this before, but I just think he really appreciates it. At the end of the day, his career was hanging in the balance, and then look at where he is right now. I mean, unbelievable.
Tremendous.
What good technique, good coaching, good environment can do for a player.
Hell yeah, dude. I mean, that's exactly how you want to start off this series here.
Yeah. So definitely, was fired up about that. And before we move along here, I think we had a couple more comments there, right?
Yeah, I think there's some in here. Sure. Let's see.
You're trying to filter out the ridiculous Matthew Ryan.
Yeah, I mean, like, what do you want me to say here? Lonnie does come in and says, no more special martinis for you, Barnes. LMFAO. And then Kev Dude says, let's go, dude. He says, we want the smoke. Let's go. It looks like Mets and Yankees are playing hard. And he says, damn, Jets getting Adams. Maybe it will help the Jets. Maybe. But, I mean, Kev, Mets and Yankees playing hard?
It's
we
know what it is,
Come on. So how do you feel about tonight, dude? You feel like pretty confident? I mean, honestly, I feel like that game one was really a statement game. I mean, it just made it seem like, again, I'm sure, the Guardians here, like some of their better hitters weren't really hitting, again, Quan, who's been killing it. Like, he's only had one hit yesterday. So it's like, you'd imagine even some of them maybe heat up, but still, I mean, your bullpen doesn't look like it can handle the load. Your starting pitching certainly doesn't. So I don't know, man. It's definitely going to be a rocky road here for the Guardians.
Yeah, I mean, it feels like it because you're just expecting, nothing but the best from Garrett Cole tonight. So you had that type of vintage performance that you got in Game 4 of the ALDS.
Yeah, really.
Then you're really going to be in the driver's seat here, and it just seems like it's a matter of time for Judge. And you would think Austin Wells, too, because we were talking about it last night, and they have not moved off of him in the cleanup spot, but definitely has struggled. Obviously, Stanton on fire, but they like having their lanes and not having, a couple righties in a row in the middle of the lineup, all that. So, yeah, you think that there's more guys that can contribute, and obviously the Guardians, as you're pulling that up, Tony. Tanner Bibby, their best pitcher out on the mound tonight.
I mean, I don't know. He's a couple postseason starts here.
I mean, he's a newer postseason pitcher,
right? Not giving him the length.
Yeah. So, you feel, you feel pretty good. I think he's only faced the Yankees one time in his career. Earlier this year, if you go to the game logs, I forgot I looked this up, and I don't think it was anything crazy. You have it on there? Or was it this year?
This is definitely not this year. No.
Huh. I don't know why. Okay, so it must have been last year.
Maybe you think.
Oh no, I see it. Go down.
What?
I think is it in May? Or was I getting that confused with something else? Wow, I think I was.
You're just seeing Yankee logos everywhere.
But yeah, no, I feel good. Like I said, let's go Judge. I mean, it's just unbelievable, though. I mean, we expect it from Soto, and Stanton has a track record, but obviously went through some struggles this year at times, especially coming back from the injury. Was really hot before that. I mean, is it a surprise to you, or is it like, I mean, the numbers don't lie here at the end of the day?
For Judge?
Stanton.
Oh, for Stanton. I mean, no. I mean, we've talked about it all year that it's like Stanton just shows up in the postseason.
Yeah,
and he does. He continues to do that. So I mean, no, I'm not surprised that he's doing well right now. No.
Yeah, 13 career postseason home runs. They were talking about on DNR, 4th all-time slugging percentage postseason. I mean,
there we go, dude.
Really is unbelievable, and you could just tell. I mean, he's dialed in. He's jacked up. So you love to see that. So
and
it's
honestly,
just exciting stuff.
Were his numbers really that bad for the regular season?
Not that they were bad. I think his OPS was almost 800, but it just, I think the average was 233, and I think after he came back from injury, I don't know how good the splits were, because I think he was at one point was almost hitting 250. So I think he just just had some slumps mixed in there, and really before the end of the season, I don't believe was doing that great, but then just all of a sudden has really taken off. And obviously the thing that stands out is that home run in Game 3 of the ALDS, but then to have that one last night to really cement things you really feel good. So it's just like he just has a sense of things, and it's like, let's fucking go.
Yeah, dude. I mean, it's fired up, huh?
Yeah, absolutely. So really can't wait to watch a game 2 later this evening. Same start time, 7:38. Before we get an off day and we head to Cleveland for 3. And we'll do our picks in a sec. But I know you haven't been here since the Mets played 2 games, splitting the 6s
That's
in
right.
LA. So I'm sure you have some insight you'd like to offer here, Tony.
Yeah, definitely, dude. And we can start with the first game too. I mean, obviously, overall, you split in LA. I mean, that's exactly what you could hope for. You did the same thing too with the Phillies. So, I mean, by no means do I feel like uneasy about these next 2 games at City. But obviously, after game 1, or 3 games, that's right. But obviously, after game 1, I was feeling a little worried, but. I think you really want to look at this game, and Matthew Ryan obviously alluded to it, the 9-0 loss here, and I mean, the whole Kadai Senga thing is pretty rad in my opinion, in terms of him even starting, like even getting looks, which is kind of wild.
It seems like there wasn't even murmurs of that before the first game of last series, and all of a sudden, he's starting tomorrow.
I think like literally when he was like initially announced, like, oh, he's going to go back on the long-term IR here. Maybe we'll see him in the postseason. And that was the first time and only time it was said, and then all of a sudden now announcing game 1 starter. And I mean, that start 2 against the Phillies, I mean, it wasn't bad. It wasn't a bad idea. It kind of, it worked, and you follow him up with Peterson out of the pen. He gives you length, middle relief. Like, it's just another pitcher to mix in here to add depth and ease some of the bullpen. So I like Mendoza's, mentality with that. Obviously, this is where you're in this game, at least, is where you're kind of seeing, I guess the downside to using Senga right now, who obviously has barely pitched this year against a good team like the Dodgers. I mean, first inning here, you give up 2 runs. And I think, obviously that just changed the entire tone of the game. I mean, everyone sort of was on their heels. Peters or Garrett, who does come in to relieve him. And then eventually Peterson. I mean, all these guys are on their heels. There is no room for error now for anyone else. When you're starting down 2-0, including your lineup. So I think that, coupled with the fact, and we've seen it in sports like many times, where a team has a crazy schedule, does really well, all that excitement and adrenaline subsides because they finally get some off days, and they come back out against a team who just won a game 5, who had momentum. You're at home for the Dodgers. Mets were just flat-footed in general, And I think that's really what you can chalk up that game to. No one was really playing well. Jack Flaherty looked like you Cy Young Award winner there. His final line was 7 innings, only 2 hits given up, no earned runs, 2 walks. It just seemed like nobody was really able to hit. And then, like I said, at that point, you're down 2-0 early. You give up more runs in the second too. It just seemed like everyone was just trying to hit to get a home run and to get something on the board there. Losing this game 9-0. Mendoza even chalked it up. I think even after Peterson gave up a few runs, because you see Danny Young get in there, Buteau, obviously not your best bullpen guys necessarily. So I think he was kind of on to next game. And I mean, the Mets absolutely showed up. You want to look at the game yesterday here, 7-3. Sean Manaea gets a start. Obviously, one of your better pitchers. Ran into some trouble. I know his line isn't great. You're looking at it's 5 innings, 2 earned runs, 4 walks. Definitely. The Mets have been running into some defensive issues. I know you didn't really see the game, but we can go through it right now. But again, I mean, going into this game, the feeling was a little bit rough. Getting blanked 9-0. But hey, top of the first here, Francisco Lindor, the leadoff home run. No, it was a long at bat.
Yeah, long at bat. Gotcha.
Kind of wild. But does take this 1 yard here, and I believe the stat is he's the first player in MLB history to have a grand slam and a leadoff home run in the postseason.
Oh, really?
Which is pretty wild. But again, I mean, talk about just Francisco Lindor just showing up, dude. Again, a lot of people talk about him being a leader in the clubhouse, on the field. I mean, this is perfectly it. This is exactly what the Mets need to bounce back here. And after that, I mean, it just started tacking on. Obviously, the rest of the inning, Vados winds out. Nimmo draws the walk, but then Alonso grounds out to play. Not happy about that, but you still feel pretty good. Manaea comes out for his first inning here.
By the way, that's sleep, not Mets, like, just so you know, because I know you were giving me the look. I get it. It's fine.
Back-to-back strikeouts. Ohtani, Betts, riled. Okay. Hernandez is going to walk, but then Freeman flies out. So you feel pretty good with Minaya. And then top of the second, Knack is here. So they do this pretty interesting, I guess, kind of like bullpen game here for the Dodgers. Leadoff single given up to Marte. Then Knack walks Winker. So you have runners at first and second. You're feeling like you're putting the pressure on here. Iglesias pops out the second, but then Taylor with a great hit, dude. Curveball that I believe went to, double to left. Scored Marte. Winker went to third. 2-0 just like that. You get Alvarez who pops out. So there's 2 outs with 2 on. Lindor gets intentionally walked here. And then Mark Vientos. Again, talk about a guy who answers the bell here. Someone who I think is shown, at least from the games I've seen, bright spots, obviously. But in a lot of plays, especially at the plate too, does show like some
weaknesses,
lack of experience.
Yeah.
He's a young player, whatever, just the way he's seeing some pitches, what he's looking to do. Obviously, in this instance here, a 4-seam fastball down the middle, like middle, takes that yard, grand slam. I believe youngest player in championship series to have a grand slam.
Wow.
Yeah, which is pretty wild as well.
Yeah,
so
what
Mets
a season he's had.
Continuing to make history here. And obviously the grand slam, I mean, by the second inning, you're up 6-0. Complete 180 from Saturday. So you love that. And then, bottom of the second, so important for Minaya here to slam the door here in the Dodgers in the bottom of the second. After getting all those runs, he does exactly that. Strikes out Smith, gives up a single, but Muncy lines out and then strikes out Pages to end that inning, which is great. And then again, we're kind of, chugging along here. It's 3 up, 3 down for basically until the 5th inning here. Lead off Max Muncy, gives a solo shot. And that was just, again, I mean, Muncy, I guess, has looked good, at least against the Mets anyway. But it was a sinker kind of over the middle of the plate. Muncy took it yard there for him, makes it 6-1. Dodgers bring in Honeywell pitching for the Dodgers here. And it was a 3 up, 3 down inning for him. And then bottom of the 6th is where Minaya gets into some trouble. It does seem like even with Senga and honestly everyone who pitched on Saturday, to be honest, I don't know if it's nerves or whatever, but pitchers are having some control issues, I will say. Leadoff walk to Betts. And then Hernandez gets walked as well. And this is where Freddie Freeman grounds out to fielder's choice to second. Hernandez safe at second and fielding error by Iglesias. This should have been a double play. But Iglesias bobbles it. Everybody's safe. And then Minaya gets pulled. So, again, you want to think about it like really Minaya, if that was double play, he probably would have finished the 6th and not had another earned run.
And then when that happened, where you think we're going to blow it?
Oh, yeah, of course, dude. I mean, fielding error, kind of tough. Yeah, exactly, dude. But regardless, I mean, he gets pulled. Matone comes in, who, again, you're not stoked for, but, I mean, he's someone who's also been answering the bell couple times here in the postseason. It's just, I don't know what it is about him, but for me, I'm always a little nervous. Him coming in does limit the damage here. Smith pops out to second, and actually right there, infield pop out, nobody advances. I mean, that was like a huge weight off my shoulders, dude. Like, yeah, because there was no outs here, But then Edman, 2 RBI single here, makes it 6-3. Eventually, he does walk Muncy as well, but the double play to end it. I mean, you love to see that. And limits the damage, 6-3. And at that point, I mean, you feel pretty good. He's out of that inning. Stanek comes in. Stanek has been great. I think in the postseason so far. Obviously, a little tough here after that Muncy walk. It does get pulled for Diaz. Mendoza does ask Diaz to get 4 outs. But still, going to that 8th inning, you just kind of had a little breath of fresh air after the 7th. 6 outs they needed. You felt pretty good. And, of course, top of the 9th here with Enriquez pitching for the Dodgers. Alonso walks, Marte, RBI single. Alonso had stolen second. They let him steal it. And then, I mean, that was the fastest I've seen him run. Great slide into home plate, dude. Yeah, no, it was great. He was pumped up. Winker's been pumped up too. He was right there looking at him, which is great. That made it 7-3. And then of course Diaz. You want to talk about just like Weaver yesterday too, gives up a leadoff single to Pages, walks Ohtani. All of a sudden 2 on, nobody out. But then Betts, Hernandez, Freeman back to back strikeouts, dude. I don't know. Yeah, literally unbelievable. And I don't know what happened. It's actually so funny too. on the broadcast, they were talking about it. They were saying how like in practice, whatever, at one point, Marte was like, hey, Diaz, like just throw your fastball, just hammer your fastball. And then you'll get those first 2 at bats. The single he gave up the Pages was on the slider. He walks Ohtani, and he threw 3 sliders, 2 of them for balls in that at bat. And then you look at the all the strikeouts, Betts, Hernandez, Freeman, all in the 4-seamers, dude.
Wow.
I mean, again, Hernandez didn't throw a slider, so I think just having that confidence, and clearly he's putting his body behind it. He's getting 100. So, I mean, Diaz is looking great. You're totally stoked to come back to Citi Field, splitting the 6s there in LA. Because I can only imagine, the stadium, Dodger Stadium, obviously huge. Dodgers fans have been just brutal. I mean, you can feel it on the broadcast in the stadium. I mean, it's like they're a fucking force, dude. And I think, to play a powerhouse like that, to start these series on the road is so tough. I don't think people understand. Like, some people maybe not realize that. Same thing in Philly too. So I think to be back in Citi Field, I think it's like a breath of fresh air, I think, for the Mets. Which is
breath of some cold air.
Yeah, that's for sure. Pretty dope. And it's actually kind of funny too. I heard on the radio they were saying how the Mets sent Sevy back home early yesterday.
Yeah,
just to get acclimated, whatever. A friend of mine was on a flight back home from I forget where. Saw him, baggage claim. Hey, big fan. She's a Yankee fan. She's like, oh, big fan of you and the Yankees. Love the way you're playing. Good luck. And he said that he looked really happy. She said, so let's fucking go, dude.
Wow.
Dialed.
And kind of speaking of that, that's an 8:08 game tomorrow. Walker Buehler, who's really struggled this year, whether postseason or regular season, but take him out of the equation. Any trepidation besides, I know he could, at the airport, he's jacked up. Okay, we get it, but I'm just saying, like, any nervousness there, Severino. I mean, this is obviously a pivotal game here.
Oh yeah, definitely a little nervous. I mean,
yeah.
Last time we saw him in the playoffs wasn't great by any means. He does give you like those rocky starts, can settle down. I mean, I think it's the same thing from every time. We talked about it last time. He just needs to come into the game with like his emotions under control because he just gets too hopped up.
Be more deliberate.
Exactly, dude. Like, if you need to take a few ticks off your fastball to be accurate, get that. I'd rather have 95 under control than like 97, 98.
And it's someone's head.
Yeah, it's just not
for a home run.
And again, especially with the way the Mets pitchers have come out here, these first 2 games, they have not been finding the strikes. It hasn't been easy for anyone to find the strike zone.
Yeah.
I feel like for any of these Met pitchers, and that to me is probably what I'm worried about the most, because clearly we have certain players showing up offensively, which is great. But we just need, like late into the games with a 3-run lead, I'm still like,
Right.
Dodgers lineup, you never know, dude. So, I mean, if Sevy comes here under control, I mean, I'm confident he can give us a quality start.
Yeah. So be interesting. By the way, Jay seems like he's found a deal for you, 177, or do you think it's one of those things Jay didn't click through the $80 in fees at least?
Maybe, and maybe he's like, maybe it's like watch party at Citi Field. Those, oh my god, those are the worst.
Yeah, what was it for the Rangers? I think.
Yeah, we were like $50 to go in or whatever it was.
That's
crazy, dude.
Yeah. So they get the travel day today.
Nice day off,
and then we'll have both teams in action tomorrow. So the Yankees, the lone game tonight, and I'm so excited for this one. But let's do, Tony, a Tuesday edition, an American League Championship Series frenzy.
Oh, right, Brian. Let's freaking go, dude. I mean, this baseball postseason has been nothing short of exciting, and it continues tonight. Game 2 of the ALCS in Yankee Stadium. You said it. Bibby versus Cole. You got to feel pretty good about Cole's chances and experience as the starter. You're over under 7.5. The Yankees are minus 175 here on the money line. Opened up at 190, mind you. Obviously, the deal. Game 1, Yankees win 5-2. We're back at it again. I mean, how do you not just run it back, Brian?
You have to run it back, and I think Cole pretty much matches what Rodon did last night. I think he goes an inning more, maybe gives up one less run as well, but I think it's double-digit strikeouts for Cole. So let's say 7 innings, 1 earned, 10 strikeouts, and I think offensively, this is his time. Aaron Judge, I think first inning, finally, we're going to get that. We've seen Torres and Soto get on to start games. I think they do that again. I could see Glaber first pitch double, the Soto walk, and the Judge 3-run homer. Yankees not looking back from there. I think Stanton hits another one as well. But at the end of the day, the Yankees getting the job done here in Game 2 by the score of 6-2. So it's the Yankees and it's the over. And just like that, that is your American League Championship Series frenzy.
Bang, dude.
So there we go.
I mean, you said run it back, dude.
Yeah, and by the way, it was an error. I did say both teams in action tomorrow. It's the following day. Tomorrow is just the Mets.
Yes.
And did I just say it? 8:08? Is that tomorrow?
That's correct.
Fox likes those 8:08.
8:08. Yep, they do love that, dude.
But then TBS loves 7:38.
Which is fine, I guess.
Yeah. You wonder what's behind it, but
I don't know.
Something with programming, I'm sure.
Yeah, probably. I do probably appreciate the 7:38 start as opposed to the 8:08.
And I haven't really watched any Fox games this year. I mean, how's Joe Davis been doing on the call?
Honestly, I really like him a lot.
Yeah.
It's all like just solid calling, like nothing crazy.
Smoltz as well.
Yeah. Smoltz has always been great. I always like his commentary, whether it be at the network or on live broadcast.
Well, you never had to experience him like hating on your team because he lost to them in the World Series and can't get over it, or no?
No, yeah, exactly, dude.
I mean, he had to have good career numbers against the Mets. I'm sure that's what it is.
Oh yeah, no, of course, of course. I mean, great career,
Hall of Famer, obviously.
Obviously, dude, great golfer as well, dude.
Yeah, but not just good enough. He's trying to make some cuts in some senior tour events. Hasn't exactly went his way.
But yeah, dude, they're great. And again, I don't think I see any bias or anything necessarily. So everything's all good.
Yeah. So let's go, dude. Right?
Yeah, dude. Absolutely, dude.
So let's go now to the world of the National Football League.
He wants Jefferson, climbs the ladder. Oh my goodness! Justin Jefferson, the catch of his life. Burrow fires, intercepted, picked off at a pick 6. Mika Fitzpatrick, an absolute ball hawk. Niners twist up front and get to Tagovailoa. Bosa again. Mahomes escaping, on the move, stops, spins, flips it forward for the touchdown.
Stop it.
Aaron Jones. Oh, what a tackle. Quincy Williams with a pile driver.
All right, so new coach, but same result. Jets 23-20 losers last night at MetLife Stadium. Rodgers again with a late interception. Greg Zuerlein missing 2 kicks as well. Obviously at the top of the show, we had the Adams news, Tony. But I have to ask, I mean, especially after what we saw last night, a tight game that doesn't go their way. Is it too little too late with Adams coming to town here?
I mean, I don't think so. I don't think it's too little too late.
Yeah,
no, it's just so hard because it's like obviously Devontae Adams is going to be like
great.
Talk about he's going to be great. No, he is, and talk about having a newfound just drive from him to be playing with the team, even though the team isn't looking great. Maybe they're in shambles, maybe not, but still to be on a team with Aaron Rodgers, a quarterback that he wants to be with, he's going to be playing hard.
Right.
Okay, dude. Clearly he wanted to end with the Jets. Like he clearly wanted that. So let's fucking go. That's huge. But at the same time, all of the issues that I feel like the Jets are facing week in and week out have almost nothing to do with talent, I guess I want to say. Mm-hmm. Maybe you could say offensive line just isn't good enough, maybe. But yeah, I think it's more execution. I mean, all of the dumbass penalties we see, the miscommunications on offense, what do we do? Why is that? Why are we still having dumbass false start penalties that take us out of field goal range and we come up with no points? Why do we have dumb drops that we shouldn't be having? Why has it taken this long for the run game to even get started, sort of deal? You know, like why is Aaron Rodgers having a trouble like not getting pancaked?
Mm-hmm.
You know, like again, maybe that sort of is like, yeah, O-line, it just isn't good enough. But it just seems like there are so many miscues on offense, delay of games, like these are things like that should be ironed out, you know?
Right.
And it's like bringing Devontae Adams, like, is that going to iron it out? I don't know. Probably not. Like, that's something that is more from like coaching, captain leadership. Like those are the things that like, why are we having, I think, what was it? Was it a,
offsides?
No, it wasn't offsides. Legal formation, I think,
okay.
on a play where we would have had pass interference. They would have sent us down like 50 yards. But instead, I think Conklin maybe lined up wrong in the line of scrimmage. Like, how is that happening?
Yeah.
Like that. That's so dumb. And those are killers, especially when it's a 3-point game, you know? So it's like all of a sudden, like Devontae Adams has come in and we're not going to have any miscues in offense. Like, probably not.
I mean, the only thing I'm thinking to try to look at it from the eyes of them would be maybe, you know, it appears the Jets have had a lot of trouble here finishing drives, and not only Zerloin missing the kicks, but also just getting to the point where you have to line up for the kick and not just finishing out the drive. So maybe the thought is 3rd down, 4th down, 4th and goal. Right. Having Adams there, I mean, they're going to score a lot more than they are now. I mean, I'm just trying to look inside the eyes of the beholder here.
I mean, I guess so. I mean, yes, it's another target, but I mean, I don't know, dude. Like Rodgers isn't looking great.
Yeah, I mean, it's just very choppy, very inconsistent. And Jay saying the Jets offense looked competent in the first drive.
Yeah.
Double doink is a classic loss. Devontae just gives Rodgers less excuse for being bad and old. And then Matthew saying Jets looked way better last night. Thought they'd get a beating, but proved me wrong. And I know like it doesn't technically come down to this, but it technically does at the same time. I mean, Zerline, see you later. I mean, missed the Denver kick, and then doing that last night. How could he be right?
I mean,
32-yard field goal.
I don't give a shit about wind. It's a 32-yard field goal.
Yeah.
You're a professional kicker.
Right.
Like you compensated for the wind.
Right.
And it's like, I don't know. I feel like this season like has been so rocky. Like, yeah, you got to at least entertain someone else,
tryouts.
Right? Something, dude.
Yeah.
Because like that's not good, dude, at all. I mean, you know, 2 field goals, 6 points. All of a sudden, you win by 3 instead. You know, like,
and then if you had won those 2 games, then it's a different story, right? Or not?
Yeah, dude. Like, imagine if you hit those field goals and you had 2 more wins than losses now.
And you're 4-2 instead of 2-4 with a Sunday night football game in Pittsburgh, which again, I will be shocked.
I think we'd be sitting here like, wow, running game looking good. We just got Adams. We're going to be probably winning the division.
Yeah. No, it's just crazy but that's what they get for starting out, you know, the way that they've started out.
Do you think if Salah never started the year, we'd be 4-2?
6-0.
Really?
No, that's something Michael would say, though.
Yeah, definitely. That's probably something he's saying to himself right now.
5-1 though, because Niners, I think, still would have got the job.
Yeah, week 1. Yeah.
Week 1s are always tough for Rodgers.
Oh, dude, so it's brutal. That was a very brutal game. And, you know, talk about, you know, staying up late Monday night, watching the game out.
But like I don't know. I'm just in fantasy's been going terrible for me. Matt, like I think won by 2 after Garrett had a great game.
You played Matt?
Yes.
Let's go, dude.
Yeah, I've never had such a bad fantasy football season in my life.
Really?
So yeah, that's a little discouraging, but I do enjoy Red Zone. And they're saying possibly, I'm sure you got the alert too, that Reddick could be on the move as well.
Yeah, I heard that. Rick and David talking about that.
Yeah.
Detroit is
the compensation back. Or Detroit would make sense.
Detroit would make sense, especially Aiden Hutchinson, brutal injury.
Yeah.
In a throwaway game. Almost,
I mean, they want to give us Sam Laporta. You know,
why would they do that?
No, I'm just kidding. Jay's fantasy team somehow was 0-5, but I guess he means 0-6.
Yeah, probably.
Standings an update.
Probably didn't. Yeah.
The servers are down.
Mike and I, first place right now, 5-1.
2 listen to this. 5 teams. I know, crazy. Woohoo. But tell me this isn't like just you're just getting your ass fucking kicked. 2 0-6 teams. Okay. 2-4 teams. Okay. Best team 3-3. I mean, is that not like historically bad?
Yeah, that is pretty bad, huh?
And it's not like the drafting was that bad, but you just, the whole Dallas Goedert, get injured, no stats. Harrison, get injured, no stats. Have this league where there's multiple quarterbacks. Oh, you have Anthony Richardson, Gardner Minshew, and Russell Wilson. Oh, wait, nobody's starting. Oh, wait, everybody rats the quarterback, so there's unavailable. So it's just been a lot of, unfortunate sequence of events.
Do you think maybe 6 teams is too much?
It's 5.
Is 5 teams too much?
No, it's just really bad luck. Really bad luck after having 4 baseball teams and being all really good with them.
Yeah, that's true. Well, but different sport,
Yeah, but I've never usually football. I mean, at least there's a couple of teams that are pretty good, and I'm sure I'll at least get you would think 1 playoff team, maybe 2, but still just very, very disappointing. Jay saying, yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously we weren't here yesterday. I have to say, I would say in terms of win-loss results this past week, probably one of the least surprising, weeks with winners here. I mean, the only thing I would say that really, really surprised me, or actually really nothing really surprised me, to be honest.
What about Ravens beating out the Commanders?
The only pick I got wrong literally was I thought maybe the Panthers would win, and obviously that was just stupidity.
Yeah.
But everything else, expected. I mean, did anything, catch you for surprise? I mean, sure, maybe you want to see the margin of victory for the Lions over the Cowboys. But
yeah, that was huge.
The Cowboys suck.
Yeah, the Cowboys do suck.
I knew the Raiders were not going to beat the Steelers.
No way.
Chargers over the Browns got tight late.
Easy.
Pulled it off. But yeah, I didn't think the Commanders were ready. Browns have been a train wreck. Bucks, going against a rookie quarterback for a start. Texans rookie quarterback for a start. I thought the Colts, just the Titans are a mess. And then the Pack, I thought were better than the Cardinals. Right? Where's the surprise here? Jacksonville, we talked about being cooked, and even going way back, Tony.
Thursday night.
San Francisco as well. And then, you expected the Jets to blow it. Obviously, you wanted them to win it. But at the end of the day, it's really surprising. And I think maybe you were a little nervous about the Giants with the Bengals. But, that was one for me where I was like, there's no way the Bengals would lose this game. And I know it was somewhat tight. They didn't score 50 points. But I did not think there was any way Daniel Jones, 1-14 prime time, was going to win that game.
Yeah, I guess maybe at some point, maybe I thought a little bit, maybe Bengals just blow it. But at the end of the day, I was not surprised, I suppose. What do you think about what Jay says, though? That he says that if he bets that if they would have won if Solid State and Hackett got fired.
No. Rodgers would have said, I'm up. Hackett's one of my favorite coaches of all time.
Really?
Maybe. Who knows, right?
You think there's any scenario on the Jets where one of them stays and one of them's gone?
One of them stays and one of them's gone.
Yeah, if Hackett gets fired, then Rodgers is like, I'm still gonna stick it out.
Oh, yeah, they're not gonna do it. They're done with the firings. They're staying as is, but it's just, you would think headed towards chaos, train wreck. But Devontae Adams, big game. They win in Pittsburgh, and then you feel like, okay, we're playing New England. We can get back to 4-4 and reset. But I think that's just I don't feel confident in them winning in Pittsburgh. I really don't. With that defense, their offensive line.
That's so tough, dude.
So we'll have to, see what happens. And speaking of, games next week, we get started on Thursday. Al Michaels, Kirk Herbstreit, Tony, the Sean Payton reunion game in New Orleans.
Week 7.
Do you think there's a tribute video? Super Bowl win.
Usually you
right?
Get one, right? There has to be. There should, right?
So that's an interesting matchup. Normally I would say Saints, but maybe with Spencer Rattler, defense, Peyton revenge. That'll be interesting. I would say probably the worst game of the season so far, Tony. Jags Pats.
Are you waking up 9:30 for that?
Oh,
no.
Yeah.
Let's do a watch party. Let's get the company. Let's get everyone down here, dude.
Oh yeah, dude. So that's brutal. Seahawks Falcons. I think that'll be a good one. Obviously, Seattle getting a little desperate here, losing 3 in a row. I think the Bills should wax the Titans.
Yeah.
You would think the Bengals keep getting right here against Cleveland.
That's right.
Watson looks
they should.
In shambles here. Texans Packers, maybe game of the week vibes potentially there.
Big 1 p.m. game.
I think that's going to be a great game. Dolphins Colts, probably more along the snooze fest, type of game you would think, but who knows? Maybe the Dolphins show up. Flacco, if he plays, if he doesn't, Richardson, who knows what's going to happen there. Also, another game of the week scenario could be Vikings Lions. Vikings going out to bye 5-0. And the Lions obviously dismantling the boys. Eagles, Giants. Interesting because the Eagles haven't looked great. Saquon's first game back at MetLife. Tribute, who knows? Raiders, Rams. I would say that's probably a snooze fest, as well as the Commanders, Panthers. I think they handle them easily. But then Chiefs, Niners, Super Bowl rematch 4:30. I think that should be a pretty good game, no?
Yeah, definitely, dude.
So interested to see that.
And then
Jets, Steelers. So can the Jets step up? Come on, with Adams, all that. And then doubleheader on Monday. Ravens, Bucks, which I think will be a good one.
Yep.
And then Chargers, Cardinals, I think has the potential to also be a good one.
Yeah.
Cards 2-4, but if Harrison's healthy, maybe they have a puncher's chance there. So let's see, right?
Yeah, it's interesting. Cowboys and Bears both had their bye weeks, which is good for my fantasy team because I don't think I have anyone on either of those teams.
Would you look at that?
I
can't believe we're going to be saying week 7, Tony, right?
Yeah, pretty wild. And it's going to be a good week, though. You got some big games in every time slot. So
yes.
I think there should be some upsets, too. Maybe not everything will be as predicted.
Or copacetic.
Yeah, exactly, dude.
So
copacetic, dude.
Let's see, but also let's go to the world of the National Hockey League.
Speed, here he comes. McDavid shoots, top shelf, he scores! Captain with the overtime winner! That's the middle break. That's a world-class hit right here. Tomsky stepping, rink Washington made the full split save.
Are you kidding me?
Turn, side of the net, between the legs, and they score! Filthy! David Pastrnak, the silver trophy to the Golden Knights.
All right. So the New York Rangers' second victory of the season, first at the Garden, dropped a heartbreaker over the weekend to the Utah Hockey Club.
That's
home
right.
Opener
OT.
with a rebound resiliently with a 4-1 victory here. Igor, looking like he did on opening night, 31 of 32, 4 goals, 1 by Laffy, a power play by Chris Kreider, and then Riley Smith and Mika in the third period. So I think a pretty good place to be. Obviously, you didn't want to lose to Utah like that. But what are you going to do? And I mean, I think, Igor has looked sharp, and it's good to see Kreider getting going early with 3 goals in the first 3 games.
Oh yeah, dude. I mean, there's like, whatchamacallit, a lot of good actually coming out of New York here for our hockey team. I mean, not gonna lie, dude. Like, obviously, this game was on after. Actually, I guess it was on after the Mets. I caught the beginning of it, caught most before I left, whatever. And I don't know, man. I was watching some hockey. I think I was like, not that it was like, I guess it was the first game where I really sat down and like all my attention was on the game, sort of deal. I'm not gonna lie, dude. I'm kind of feeling it.
Yeah, the Rangers.
Like, this is gonna be a great year. Like, you feel it in the building, the fan base, the way they're playing right now. And I think Laviolette, the line combinations have been pretty strong. You mentioned Riley Smith's 1 goal. That right forward last year on Mika and Kreider's line was always like a question mark. It was Blake Wheeler for a while, who obviously older, couldn't keep up. Eventually, tore his ACL or broke his leg or whatever happened, injured for the rest of the year. And then it was like a revolving door. They threw Kakko in there, Hedl when he came back. They were trying to move up, other forwards throughout the lines, try and fill that right wing spot. And they never, I feel, could find someone that really resonated. I'm blanking on the guy, Roslovic. He was on the line for a bit. Who again? Yeah, Wenberg. Like, these guys showed some promise, but obviously Roslovic, postseason nowhere to be found really after the first year.
Wenberg nowhere to be found.
Gone, dude. So it should be interesting, Rue, to see it continue to progress. But I love that. And obviously, Kreider had a power play goal yesterday. That was his 3rd goal of the year. So clearly that line humming a little bit. I believe Mika also has 3 points in the year. Artemi Panarin has 5 points already. That line has picked up where they left off. Still, the 4th line, I think, leaves some to be desired, I would imagine. Maybe some spots to fill at the deadline, or maybe Sam Carrick can revitalized his career. Brodzinski's been in the organization for a while. Edstrom, big body, but I'd like to have some more talent there. But regardless, I mean, it's great. Everyone's kind of getting in the mix here. Victor Mancini, rookie defenseman, had 6 shots on goal yesterday. I know not much to show for it, but still, the fact that he's not afraid to get down on the boards, to show some offense, to cycle down low as a defenseman, that's always good to see from a young guy. Trouba, I believe, has 5 points in the season as well, getting a lot of assists, all coming from assists, I believe. Either 3 or 5 points for the first 3 games. But you got to feel really good. And like you said, Igor is just not missing a beat at all.
I mean, obviously, the 6 goals against Utah, sandwiched in between
but
two
still,
vintage
performances here. Overtime loss, tough. The team is 2-0-1 right now. I mean, you got to feel really good, dude.
Yeah. 3 road games in a row, though, on the horizon. So we have at Detroit Thursday, at Toronto Saturday, and then continuing the Canadian theme here at Montreal before returning home for the Panthers Thursday, so a week from this Thursday, and then next Saturday at home against the Ducks.
So I mean that's not a hard schedule to navigate. I think Matthew Tkachuk is struggling with an illness right now, so he hasn't been playing.
But he has his buddies
Verhaeghe, Reinhardt, dude. Yes, and Bennett, dude. I mean, yeah, it's a deep roster.
I mean, it's one of the best rosters I've ever seen.
It kind of is crazy, but still, you would imagine, again, Detroit take care of business, Toronto, Montreal, like Toronto, although talented, Montreal, I mean, this is going to be a good stretch, I feel like, for the Rangers to kind of really stretch things out. Like let's go. Let's figure out some getting some of the kinks out. Let's avoid giving up, 6 goals in a loss to the Utah freaking hockey club. But yeah, dude, like let's go. I mean, I'm pumped. I mean, hockey is making its way back in. Like it's really nice to see hockey. I know you don't care at all.
No, but I mean, I'm pumped for the Rangers.
Right.
I think it's tough because it's like, I haven't had too much because last year, the Yankees didn't make the playoffs. So at this time, I was full Rangers, and right now it just almost seems like the season started too early. I know that's not the case, and it only applies, if your baseball team is in the championship series.
Yeah, that's right.
But it's going to be a good hockey season. I think that's evident.
Oh yeah, dude. I think that is evident.
Any deals pop up for the tickets?
Deals for tickets for the Rangers?
No, were you looking Rangers or?
Yeah, I was looking at Mets.
Oh.
Yeah, I don't know where
Jay, the 177
was looking the 177. But
if it was in front of you right now, like you have to, right now, like you can't even think. Like, would you click it or not?
Like 170 for standing room? I would need a buddy to go with.
If Jay said
Jay was down, I'd be like, yeah, I would have to go. I'd have to tell, or Mike even. I don't know if Mike would go though. I don't know.
I can see him just like, it's like part of his thing. Like if you said like you wanted to go, and just him doing his like, dude, like the Mets. Like you think I'm gonna like go stand in this cold? Wouldn't he say that though?
Yeah, no, definitely. Yeah. The cold, he'd be like, this is so deep. He'd probably leave, honestly. But I feel like if Jay was down, I would definitely go, dude. But I'm looking at standing room 2 tickets at $230 each.
With the fees?
It says includes fees.
$230. So maybe he looked
maybe
at that
without fees.
Prior to fees.
Yeah. So.
All websites, I don't get it because it's gonna show up. It shows up before you put your card information in. Why don't you just put the fees up front? Like, don't give us like, oh, we have to go to the settings to do that. Like, just have it up front.
Like, honestly, dude.
Like, it's not like, oh, well, they added $200, but I really want to go. So I'm gonna go. Like, some people aren't gonna go because of that.
Yeah, so. Dude. It's not like why. And to add to that, it's like there's a smoke and mirror act going on. It's like why?
Exactly.
Why?
Exactly.
You're cheating me.
So I think, Tony, I mean, it's time to do a full-on hockey frenzy.
Let's freaking go, dude. Pumped for the hockey season, especially today. Getting out there in the morning, the brisk, cold air. Winter is coming, Brian.
Oh,
and
yeah,
so is the National Hockey League. We're starting off with a heavy slate on this Tuesday. We're going to Tampa. Let's freaking go. The Canucks, who has started this season off 0-2, dude, are playing the Lightning. Okay, it's Vancouver plus 115 on the money line. Your over-under is, wait for it, I'll say 6.5. It is 6.5, Brian. What do you got here, dude?
Well, I think it's just one of those things, Tony. You could talk about Brock Bozer until the cows come home. But at the end of the day, Tampa at home, Kucherov is jacked.
Honestly, ridiculous.
And you're going to try to tell me that there's a way that Bozer leads the Canucks? I don't think so. Could also be one of those, like, let's take a step back seasons for Vancouver after kind of surprising last year. So I think Vasilevsky at his best. I'm going to say 5-2 Tampa. So that would be Tampa in the over, right?
Yeah, dude, absolutely love that, too. I think Vasilevsky, you think about last season, the back, coming out flat, whatever. I think he's dialed in. I totally agree with that, dude. Next game, where am I? There am I. Let's go, dude. We're going to Washington, Brian. Capital One Arena, D.C. The Golden Knights, who, believe it or not, have played 3 games already. The Capitals only played 1. That's kind of crazy, dude. Jack Eichel, 7 points on the year for the Golden Knights. Again, someone who maybe didn't have exactly the year they expected to have coming out of the Golden Knights. Over-under is 5.5. Expecting the good goaltending here, which is interesting. Vegas favorited, -135. Here on the road, Brian, what do you got, dude?
One of those things where you can't go chalk every time. So literally, just because of that.
Really?
I'm going to say Ovechkin just pulls one out of his back pocket. Hat trick, Josh B. 3-0 Caps. How about that, huh? Caps in the under?
I mean, that is kind of wild, dude. Ovechkin is due for sure, but I don't know, Brian. I think it's going to be one of those things where you do kind of go chalk. I know Aiden Hill, maybe not the best start here. 3-5 goals against in the first 2 games that he's played. Does result in the win, though. So, I don't know. Vegas, the over, under 5.5. I say Vegas and the over. I think Charlie Lindgren, Ryan Lindgren's brother, sucks ass, dude. Give me the Knights winning. I'll say 6-3, dude. How about that? Let's go. Next game here. Check it along here. Matthew Ryan's game of the night here. The Devils are in Carolina. The Devils, another team we know they started off, international series, whatever. There are 5 games in at 4-1. Hurricanes are 0-1 so far. Pretty interesting. Let's see. Over under 6.5. New Jersey +140 here in the money line on the road. Honestly, kind of like the plus money there, Brian.
That's interesting. I'm going to take Chokery's Canes at home here. The recently renamed Lenovo Center in Raleigh, North Carolina. But yeah, I think the Canes in front of the home crowd. Jordan Stahl turning back the clock. 2 goals and an assist. And I think we're going to see the Hurricanes defeat the Devils here. I'm going to say 3-2, Canes in the under.
It's interesting. I'm going to take a page out of Matthew Ryan's book, dude. I'm going to go Devils. I just think they're on a roll right now. They're 5 games in. They're well-oiled, surprisingly good. And I know they're probably pretty tight with the way their year went. But how about Jacob Markstrom, dude? That's I think, the X factor there for the Devils this year.
Good job,
solid goaltender. Good pickup there coming out of Calgary, I believe. So give me Devils. Give me Markstrom with the shutout. I'm just talking about it. Why not, dude? Devils win. I'll say 3-0 Devils under next game. Bang. Let's go. Blue Jackets, Columbus. Kind of obviously sad start to their year, given what has happened to Johnny Gaudreau and everything like that. They start off 1-1. Panthers 2-2. They're rocking. I know I mentioned Kachuk ill, but you know the deal, Brian. They're -155 because of the rest of the roster. Over to 6.5. What do you got?
You know, I was tempted to go Jackets, kind of a feel-good win for Johnny. But I just think the Panthers are too much for them to handle. So I could see Carter Verhaeghe and Sam Reinhart stepping up here. And what if it was Bravowski, whether it was Spencer Knight? I think they get the job done and take care of the Jackets 4-2. And what do we got the total set up?
6.5.
All right. So that would be the Panthers in the under.
And the under, dude. Yeah, I like that. I like the Panthers in the under. I can see it being over. I will stand by Bobrovsky, the cup hangover, another year older, not looking phenomenal after his first 3 starts, 2-1, 894 save percentage. I still think he's feeling it, but at the end of the day, the firepower, Panthers, they win 6-5. Panthers over. What's up? Next game here, 7:30 p.m. St. Louis, the Enterprise Center. Not recently renamed, always has been in St. Louis. The Blues taking on the Wild. Minnesota minus 105, dude. The over-under is 5.5. Minnesota 1-0-2, while the Blues are 2-1, so a solid start for them. What do you see here?
So I'm going to go with the slight underdog here in Minnesota.
I like that.
Matt Zuccarello, always a Tony favorite. 2 goals for the first 3 games, so off to a good start. Had a great year last year. I think he continues that in this one. So him and Boldy finding pay dirt here. And at the end of the day, I think the Wild will prevail here 3-1. So it's Minnesota in the under.
Love that, dog. I'll be taking it as well. I think St. Louis, the firepower, Kyrou, Buchnevich, love that. But I don't know. I think at the end of the day, Binnington due for a clunker for St. Louis. I think Minnesota wins this one in a high-flying, high-scoring game, 7-5. Let's go next game here. It's Wild in the over, by the way. Predators, Kraken. The Preds 0-2 on the year since accepting Steven Stamkos onto the roster. Pretty interesting there. Obviously, Tampa Bay doing well. We just alluded to that. Seattle plus 145 on the money line. Over-under is 5.5. Do the Predators get a win tonight, Brian?
No. We're going to go another tight dog. Seattle plus 145. Everly, 2 goals and assists, so matching his production through the first 3 games up to this point. I'm going to say Seattle with a surprise dominant victory here, 5-1. So that would be the Kraken in the under.
I absolutely love that, too. Give me the Kraken as well. Another tight dog here. I think maybe at the end of regulation or towards the end of regulation, it is 2-2. Maybe Kraken, Predators, what happens? I don't know. Maybe they go on the power play or something. Kraken up a man. Jessica Campbell draws up the play, dude. Jordan Eberle, the vet, nets one with 10 seconds left. Kraken win. I'll say 3-2. Kraken and the under. Keep chugging along. There's a few games left, 8 p.m. We're going to Dallas, baby, as the Stars take on Brian's second favorite team, the San Jose Sharks. And what do you know? Starting off the year winless yet again here. 0-1-1. They are plus 300, Brian, on the money line. Over-under is 5.5. I mentioned they were winless. The Dallas Stars have not lost yet. What do you see here?
Listen, would it not be a frenzy without me taking a shark bite here to Foley, the number 1 pick, already scored, already has an assist. He does that again tonight. The surprise victory. How about 7-6 in a shootout to Foley, the game winner, Sharks, and the over?
I think it's not much here, dude. Go chalk. Minus 380 on the money line. The Dallas Stars, they win 4-1. Easy money. Next game, 9 p.m. Calgary. Speaking of teams that haven't lost yet, they surprisingly 3-0. The Blackhawks 1-1-1. Seemingly only have one good guy on their team. Over/under is 6.5. Calgary minus 150. Dude, are you going Flames?
Dogs are barking tonight. We're going to see Connor Bedard and Tara Vinen, Tony, finding pay dirt in this one. Nice and tidy, 2-1. Blackhawks and the under.
I mean, normally I would be there with you, dude. If it was last year, the Flames, I would be there. But I think the Flames are playing really well right now. Hoover says Hoover don't, dude. 5 points through 3 games. I mean, he's looking pretty good right now. 3 goals off of those 5 points right there. I still give him the Flames. I think it's decisive. I think it's Flames, maybe 4-1. Flames in the under. Let's go. Last game of the night, I believe, Brian. Where are we? We're in Edmonton. Brian's actual second favorite team here. But wait, dude. They're 0-3 on the year.
Is that a typo?
I don't think so, dude. The Flyers, though, are 1-1-0. They were going to go into Edmonton and shellac the Oilers. I'm actually not even sure where McDavid is on the stat sheet here, but so far, Jeff Skinner is your point and goal leader here. So pretty interesting. Edmonton minus 225, though, despite the tough start. Over under 6.5. Brian.
I mean, Tony, you could wax poetic about Travis Konecny and torts, okay? But I don't want to hear it. Oilers are not starting 0-4. McDavid is riled. And I think the Oilers make a statement here. Skinner the shutout. 5-0 Oilers in the under.
I'm I'm gonna go Flyers, dude.
Wow.
I gotta go Flyers. I'm so sorry, dude. Of course, Tortorella, great guy. Travis, even though you don't like him, I think is pretty solid. And I think another game where McDavid is pointless, dude. Give me the Flyers win this one. Say 2-0.
And just like that is your hockey frenzy.
Wow, what a frenzy, dude. Let's go. Hockey is in the building, Brian.
Unreal, Tony. Unreal. What a time in sports.
That's right, dude. Matthew Ryan, hyped. Devils won, he said. They're off to a good start. They are off to a good start, dude.
They are.
Hughes looking good.
It's a good move rather than having Kakkonen as the goaltender.
Oh, yeah, dude. Jacob Markstrom. And I think, goaltender, again, coming out of Calgary, needed the new change of scenery, help him out. Devils, youth organization on a promise, dude. So good for them.
How do you feel about the off day? You like it for the Mets? Like, is it a reset? Is it time to relax for you?
Yeah, of course, dude. I mean, listen, the West Coast, the coast to coast travel is definitely taxing.
You're jet lagged a little right now.
Yeah, I mean, I feel jet lagged, dude. So I think coming back home is gonna be great. Again, playing in front of your home crowd too will be absolutely great. And everyone kind of, just taking a deep breath. Game 1, shook it off. Game 2, took it back. Momentum in your favor. Like, this is exactly where you want to be. And exactly where you were against the Phillies. And look how that ended up. So let's fucking go, dude.
Now, a question I have to ask. I think we were talking about this the other day. And obviously right now it works. I mean, 1-1 series, you get the next year home. But do you think going forward, sooner than later, they're going to switch how like the World Series switch? Because to me, it seems a little crazy, the 2-3-2 format. Because it's like, you're the reward, you're the number 1 seed, but then it's like you have to have 3 straight road games. But the other team doesn't. I know they don't start at home, but I don't know. It just, to me, it seems like 2-2, 1-1.
Exactly.
Yeah. Like, it's not difficult. Like, I don't know why that has.
I have no idea.
The World Series that way.
I have no idea, dude. It doesn't make any sense at all.
Yeah.
So I think it should be changed. Will it be? I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not really a narrative that I hear people talking about right now.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just kind of odd. And then like the way the scheduling works too, like the Yankees, they have, home field advantage, but their games are on Monday and Tuesdays. Like, you know what I mean? There's no weekend games either. Like, it just seems kind of nuts.
And then the other one's playing 3 on the road.
Yeah. Yeah.
That would annoy me.
Yeah. But I guess the whole thing is like, well, you get off there, hot start at home, steal 1 or 2 on the road, you're done. So I guess that's the thought process. But I think it's going to get changed, though. I think
it should.
In the next couple of years, it will.
Because again, I mean, think about it. I mean, like the Mets steal 1 in LA, and now all of a sudden they have.
So it well, technically they because that's why they say stealing home field advantage, because if they were to take care of business at home, they win the series. That's what, because I used to get confused. Like, what does it mean, steal home field advantage? How is that even a thing? But that's what that means. But were you always a little confused at that initially, or no?
Yeah, I guess so.
He's like, what? Stealing home? Like, what? Like,
we're stealing home?
But yeah, definitely pumped up to watch the game tonight. And I guess other than that, Tony, is there binge tonight?
Binge tonight, dude. The Penguin episode 4 maybe came out on Sunday. Watched it. Let's fucking go. Gonna be dialed in there. Mike, we're talking about getting to a movie too this afternoon, so we'll see a lot of interesting movies out there.
The Joker.
So, yeah, Joker 2. You heard about it?
Yeah. Wait, but you saw it, didn't you?
No, we didn't end up seeing it. We were gonna, couldn't make it.
Everybody's tight.
Everybody's tight, dude.
So
everybody's tight about it.
Fuck this, I'm not even gonna watch this.
I mean, I'd still be down to see it. It's actually interesting. My brother saw it. He said he liked it, but he's the literally only person I think that I've talked to that said they liked it.
Yeah.
And he was like, people just didn't get it, which I could see people not getting it, but then it's like, is there really that much to get where it's like people aren't getting it? Then what am I really doing?
But dude, you just don't get it.
Like, oh my God, dude.
So 8 sharp on that.
8 p.m. sharp, dude.
Manny or no?
Manny in the studio. Yep.
Nice.
Absolutely.
Let's go.
Yes.
Let's
Manny
go.
back in town. Love that. Love that.
Yeah. And I would say love today. Love being back with all of you.
Oh, yeah.
And we really appreciate everybody today who commented, liked, and subscribed. All of the archives on the YouTube page, Tony, Michael, Renee, and Jay in costume, the merch at downtimetv.com. We want everybody to enjoy the day, enjoy the games, enjoy binge buddies. Let's go Yankees. And we will see you mañana.
Hey guys, Tony here from Downtime TV checking in. I want to thank all our fans out there who's been liking, subscribing, sharing our content. You guys are the best. You guys are our bloodline. You make us love what we do. Thanks again.